Hey guys, how's it going? On today's video, we're going to be installing Garagistic's aluminum steering coupler and their E30 rack swap kit. I want to give a massive thank you to Garagistic for sponsoring this video. This is actually my first video on YouTube. If you want to click the link above, excuse my hand, it's dirty. But in that video, it's like a, I don't know, 50-second video explaining how to install a coupler. So I figured I'd revisit it since I have to do the rack swap for my 5-low conversion. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out as well. Just like my previous video, quick explanation. So here is a finished version. It has their Delrin steering coupler and then their rack swap kit. And then this is their aluminum one. And then again with the rack swap kit. These two go for the rack and then this will go into here. So what you'll need is a drill, an angle grinder, some drill bits, a 13 mil wrench and a 13 socket to get this off the car. You'll need some 17s. You'll need an Allen key, which I'll show you later. And that is pretty much it. Oh, and a hammer. So let's start. Let's get to taking this apart. I'm going to go put this in my vise, which is not mounted to anything, but I'm going to go put this in my vise and start cutting it apart. Okay, so what I'm going to start off by doing is cutting into the rubber right below this aluminum piece to separate the lower half from this. So instead of cutting from the top, which I'll actually do later, I'm going to cut into the rubber all the way around at each of the points with my angle grinder. Make sure you're wearing ear protection and safety glasses and a face shield as well. So now that they're in two pieces, oh, that's the wrong end. So now that they're in two pieces, I'm going to go ahead and put a 10 mil on both sides here and get these taken off, and then do the same thing. I'm going to gently cut nice on the inside of there and on the inside of there, and everything will separate. So it'll be three pieces. You'll have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we got everything separated. We got that one. We got the one still in the vise. And then here we got the third one. So what I'm going to do is this side you can just put in and then tap out. It taps out pretty easily on this side. Anything with these nubs don't usually like to just hit out easily. Sometimes these will, these don't. So I'm going to drill those out. And then same thing with this. I can either cut across, try to get as flat as possible and knock out the expansion of it and try to knock it through, or just drill them out. So what I'll do is I'll cut it with more with the grinder, just nice and flat, and then knock it out. So I'm going to go through and do all that. So now that all the holes are opened up and everything is a little bit cleaner than it was before, we have to enlarge some of the holes to fit the new Garagistic hardware. So I've already drilled and installed half of this. So I drill it out to a 7/16 drill bit. It's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but this stuff is pretty tight tolerance, so it's good to have a tiny bit of extra wiggle room, because by the time you get it nice and tight, you're not going to have any. So I'm going to go through and just drill out these two. This is the bottom one. This is the bottom of the steering rack. You'll drill out those two. This is the piece that connects to it. That goes through the center here. You'll drill out those two, and then I believe that's all you need to drill out. But let me drill this out. I'll get that attached, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, I moved to a little bit of a cleaner spot. So as you can see, drill the holes out a little bit more compared to those. So you can see that bottom is bigger than top. So what you're going to do is you're going to stick it in here and then line up the holes As you can see, the holes are a little bit bigger than the red, so you can see the red through. And all you're going to do is stick, forget which way these go. I would stick them through here. Stick them this way. Put your washers on. Excuse the bump of the camera. And then we'll just slide the nuts on if it wants to do it. There we go. Grab the other side. You want to make sure that the flat part of the washer is going down. Oh, so I can't seem to hold on to anything today. Here we go. And now I'm just going to take a 2/17 and tighten these both down until they basically can't move anymore. As you can see, you want to make sure that this part matches up with the bar, so you don't want it like going across. So long piece goes to long piece, and same for the other side, long piece goes to the long piece. So I'm gonna get this tightened down, and then that is done for the steering coupler. So that was originally rubber. Garagistic sells it in aluminum, just like this, and in Delrin. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these tight, and then we'll move on to doing the rack swap part of the install. So for the middle piece, you will need to open up both ends of it just a little bit bigger. The bottom piece or the top piece doesn't need to be opened up since it's already bigger for the spacers. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill this out real quick. So now we're gonna install the rack swap spacers. So I just took a nice big drill bit and kind of just went around just so it cleaned out the inside, and then I popped these in the freezer for a second, and they are a pretty tight fit. So I'm going to take it off this and then just give them a few taps and just tap them in. Again, put them in the freezer for a second, shrinks them, and then it makes it a lot easier just to take a small hammer and just okay, so now that both of these are set in there, I'm gonna move over to this clean area. Okay, to finish off the rack swap, it just sits in there like this. I found it's easier to put the bolts in first, just a little bit, and then what you'll do is you'll kind of come in at an angle and slide them into place like that, and then you'll just feed them through like that. And if I could seat that correctly, there we go. Seat them in like that. Put the washers with the flat spot down, and then go in with your nut and tighten it down. So actually what really should have happened is we did the rack swap first and then this, so that it's easier to tighten down the rack swap part. But without doing that, I'm just going to take some some vice grips and just hold on to this and tighten it down to where it's never going to move again. You could still probably get a Allen wrench in there, just cut a little bit off of it and then stick it in there and hold. Yeah, I'll put a disclaimer in the video that says start with the rack swap first and then do this. I just love to do it the wrong way. No, but anyway, it's pretty much done. I'm going to tighten this up. So now that everything's tightened, I want to do a quick comparison between the two. You can see that, of course, with the spacers, that now this is just a little bit longer for the distance. And, well, obviously, no flex. So in this one, you can see, you can see that there's some flex in the bushing in both ways. And then, obviously, this goes bad. So now there's absolutely no flex in any of this. So this is a fantastic upgrade from this junk. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, put them down below. Once again, thank you Garagistic for sponsoring the video with this amazing product. On the next video will be the install of this with the whole front end of my 5-lug swap. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.